and the Masters of the Universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!" Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. Our friends, the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and Orko. Together we defend Castle Grayskull from the evil forces of Skeletor.
Hello, this is OptimusSolo, and welcome to the 7th chapter in Tales of Eternia. With me, as always, for the journey into the Masters of the Universe franchise is none other than the freaking great one, Mike.
Yes, hello.
Hello, and you have some news as far as Tales of Eternia goes.
Oh, no, not just Tales of Eternia, all 4 shows. Oh my god. Powers of Grayskull series just got a hell of a lot better.
For you.
Well, excuse me. Anyway, over the holiday season, let's just say Santa got drunk somewhere after Christmas and left my present somewhere in Ohio, and it just came this week. So, buddy of mine was selling his BCI He-Man DVD sets. Now, you had said to me off air, you're like, I thought there was only 3 sets for He-Man and She-Ra. Technically, there is, but the way that the BCI sets worked is they did them in volumes. So you have Season 1, Volume 1 of He-Man, right? Mm-hmm. So, Season 1, Volume 1, Season 2, Volume 2.
I knew there was 4 of He-Man and...
Right. There's 4 of He-Man. There's 2 New Adventures, and there's technically 3 She-Ra. Now, granted, Classic Media slash what's a stupid name of that company? Company's not stupid. I just can't remember. Mill Creek. Classic Media and Mill Creek released a complete series of She-Ra, but before that, there was Season 1, Volume 1, Season 1, Volume 2, and then a whole Season 2. And then there's the individual BCI volume releases for the 2002 series, which at one point there was a Best Buy exclusive where it completed the mural. All of these sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. These 10 sets make up, like when you put them on a shelf, right, make up a giant mural over the 10 sets, going from Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain in 80s He-Man, to the space stuff in New Adventures, to I think it's the Fright Zone in She-Ra, and then on the end is the Grayskull and Snake Mountain from the 2002 series. He was wanting to sell these for an amazing deal. Absolutely awesome.
So now you're set.
So, yeah, I'm pretty much set for the rest of the various 4 podcasts. Thank you so much to James Sawyer, and you can go visit his stuff see his stuff at actionfeatures.com, and I think it's MOTUclassicsfigures.com. I don't know. Links will be in the post for the episode. So,
all right.
Yep.
So in this episode of Tales of Eternia, we'll be giving you our thoughts on Episode 19, The Shaping Staff, Episode 20, The Cosmic Comet, and Episode 21, The Taking of Grayskull. So we hope you're ready, because it's time to go back to Eternia.
Nicely done, fool! You nearly ruined everything!
You worry too much. No one suspects us.
There's something funny going on here, and I'm gonna find out what it is.
rise, Your Highness, and greet your guests.
Oh, well, last thing I remember, I was in the banquet hall. What? It's impossible. It's me. You're no simple magician. Who are you?
I see the time for deception has ended.
Evelyn! Beastman! You fiends dare to come to Palace Eternia itself?
I dare anything, Your Highness. Now that I wield the shaping staff, this legendary wand can transform any matter in the universe.
But the shaping staff is just a myth, a fairy tale.
It was just a myth. Until Beastman and I found it in a hidden cave near the Crystal Sea. Soon, I will hand it over to my master, Skeletor. But first, I decided to test the wand here on you. Let you, who were once king of Eternia, now be king of goats! Now, with you posing as the real King Beastman, Skeletor will rule Eternia through you!
Alright, starting with episode 19, The Shaping Staff, and I know some of you will be recognizing a couple of these episodes as being the first couple that are on the DVD sets in production order, but obviously televised order is the way we are going, so that's why we're coming to them in episode 19 and 20. The Shaping Staff would have aired Thursday, September 29th, 1983, and it was written by none other than Paul Dini, who, as we know, has also written Tila's Quest, Creature from the Tar Swamp, Evelyn's Plot, and Prince Adam No More, as far as the episodes that we have already reviewed. So we've gotten a good taste for his writing in those 4 episodes, and this is the 5th one that he wrote for the series. Now, as far as the plot of The Shaping Staff, Majestra, a strange female magician wielding a magical staff, arrives at the royal palace and strange things begin to happen. King Randor is always seen with the magician Majestra, and he soon declares an attack on Castle Grayskull, much to the surprise of those around him. Discovering the evil warriors are behind the strange incidents, He-Man is captured as the villains prepare to overthrow Castle Grayskull. Just as He-Man looks to regain the upper hand, the evil Faker makes an appearance. So, we have our regular... I'm just going to start calling them regular. If I referred to the Masters as regular, that's Man-at-Arms, Tila, Orko, Prince Adam / He-Man, Cringer / Battlecat. That's the regulars. And if the bad guys are the regulars, it means Skeletor, Beastman, and Evelyn. So we get all the regulars plus Faker, basically, in this episode. So we get a new appearance of a... I mean, he is a character. He's not a character. He's a cult favorite, I'm sure.
Faker?
Yeah.
Yeah, Faker is...
I mean, you could see how in the episode he's just kind of like, oh, it's just a clone. It's just like it's the same... Oh, God, I'm going to do it. But we have the Transformers reference here where there was a clone of Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
And in G1, and they're battling against each other, and the Autobots had to figure out which was the real one.
Right.
Virtually, this is the same thing that's happening in this episode. The difference being, the fake Optimus did not go on to, have this identity as a whole new character.
Right.
You didn't get, action figures of the fake Optimus Prime and a different name for him, and this whole little following of,
Well, no, that's not... Okay, yes, that's true for the cartoon series.
All right, I'm just talking about the cartoon series here.
Yeah.
But, Faker, it's basically the same thing, but he, becomes this character, over the time of this franchise, over these, so many years, he's got his own identity.
Yeah.
It's just this weird phenomenon where this regular clone that's been done in many, many different cartoon series just got this, I can only call it a cult following, but that's not really right. But, it's just this identity that he gained somehow. And it's just kind of this weird character that shouldn't be a character, but it is.
Yes.
But anyway, so we got the regulars plus Faker, and the PSA for this one was all about Stranger Danger. and not to trust people, and put yourself out there because it could be evil warriors in disguise.
Yeah.
So your thoughts on the PSA, your thoughts on the characters, your thoughts on the plot for this episode? Any or all?
Well, since we are talking about Faker, just in general, I went over to the He-Man.wikia.com, and he was an original action figure in the old line.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, he gets his own toy and everything. Like, they made this a character.
Right. The difference was, I don't know why they couldn't do this in the animation. I mean, hell, Transformers had blue Optimus Primes and stuff, but the action figure, both the classic vintage one is blue with an orange chest armor thing, and so is the classics, the updated Master Universe classics. It's blue with orange and purple loincloth and all stuff. But yet in the cartoon, it's just, hey, here's an evil He-Man.
He had crazy eyes.
No difference, no difference at all.
Eyes.
Well, yeah, his eyes glow white. The reason why I was looking up his bio here was because I wanted to see why, if it explained why the character is, he has blue skin and orange hair. Haven't found it just yet.
There's
but
probably another way to, you can't make the eyes glow on an action figure.
Yeah, it's just a repaint.
So you got to make a way to make them different.
The shaping staff on its own, I hate to say this, and I'm sorry, but Paul Dini, what happened, dude? You were on a great run, and this episode to me was just so predictable. As soon as I saw Majestra, I'm like, oh, that's Evelyn. As soon as of course, I didn't know that Beastman was going to be Randor. I thought it was going to be Skeletor and not Beastman, but...
Yeah, that was a shocker.
The whole thing was like, really? But as soon as I saw Majestra, I'm like, that's Evelyn, hands down. I mean, there's no... It wasn't even the voice. It was just the look of the animation style on the character, just the way the character looks.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, that's Evelyn.
Well, yeah, almost anytime you see a female that's like a bad character, you're like, oh, that could be Evelyn now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the plot. I mean, I like the idea that, obviously in most, you oftentimes get like an object or an artifact or a weapon of the week type thing. And obviously this week it's the shaping staff for this episode. But it kind of differentiates itself a little bit in the fact that, we've had imposters, but we haven't had where we've had like a clone of a good character. Like we've had like cousins or this or that, but this is actually someone disguised as King Randor. So I thought that was cool, and to kind of like have to see, how are they going to deal with, he has the power to do stuff, but they have to figure out like, oh, this guy's different. Why is he different? So it adds a little bit of character development, even though it's not the real King Randor, in the fact that you're identifying character traits that he would have or he wouldn't have. So you get a little bit of a development for that character in the fact that there's someone being a fake version of him. And in the same way you have the fake He-Man. So I kind of like the options and the opportunities that present itself through this shaping staff weapon. Some stuff is going to be predictable, but, you're going to find not a lot in a series like this that for kids, it's not going to be at some level predictable. I mean, you could predict every episode as the good guys are going to win, the bad guys are not going to win. They're going to be like, oh, I'll get you another day. Like, at the surface, that's what they all are. But
I don't know. With the whole regards to fake Randor and Beastman being the fake Randor, I disagree with what you're saying as far as adding a new character development, because Beastman is such a doofus. And how are these...
I'm saying...
Hold on. How are these people not hearing Evelyn whisper to him, eat. It's like at one point in the episode, she has to instruct him on what to do after she talks to him. It's like he doesn't say anything for 2 whole minutes. And how do these people that are around her, like his fucking wife, Marlena, how does she not see... No. Just
See,
no.
So the reason I'm saying character development is because it's not. I'm saying as far as the other characters
It's
looking
developing
at.
a new character
No,
to.
I'm saying as like it develops a character for King Randor because we are exploring what makes King Randor him and what makes this character he can't be King Randor because he's displaying these attributes that King Randor wouldn't display. So it kind of makes you more aware of the traits of King Randor.
Okay, I can see it in that respect.
That's
yeah,
what I meant by that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I guess I don't have as much of a problem with the plot as you do on this one. I think Paul Dini's still on a high road here going. I like this episode. So,
as far as the PSA goes, this is an excellent message, and this is where I actually learned not to talk to people.
He doesn't talk to anyone.
No, hold on. I damn it, I am going on this rant here because it's one of those things where I'll go out of my apartment and right across the street is a gas station, food mart, whatever, and I'll go over there to get a snack or to get a soda or get whatever, and I'll have at least 2 people or 3 people or however many I pass say hello to me or come up to me on the street and be like, oh, you got, whatever. And it's like, I just walk past them and ignore them because I don't know those people. I was raised, don't talk to strangers. If you don't know the person, ignore them, move on. And I just don't get the whole, Southern hospitality, we say hello to everybody. No, you fucking don't say hello to everybody. If you don't know the fucking person, you don't talk to them. They could be a fucking rapist. They could be a fucking murderer. You don't fucking know. So, just for future reference, if anyone sees me out and about and I'm walking around or I'm walking down the street, don't approach me.
I wouldn't.
Because you just get ignored.
I would hope so. Anyway, let's leave that.
That's what He-Man taught me, damn it.
That's what He-Man taught you to be Anyway, let's get out of here. Let's get over to the cast.
You be careful now. You must make Prince Adam believe that you are his father.
You worry too much.
You sent for us, sire?
Yes, Adam? I've been speaking with Majestra about the old castle in the forest. It's time we made Grayskull a part of our kingdom.
But why, Father? What use could Grayskull be to us?
If you've no taste for conquest, you can stay behind. Men-at-arms, ready the troops. We march tomorrow.
Yes, sire.
But why this sudden interest in the castle? I mean, surely there are more important...
You're a fine one to talk of importance, Adam. You with your lazy ways. Come, Majestra, we have much to do.
All right, we find ourselves here in Castle Grayskull looking at the highlights of the shaping staff, and I don't feel like you might not have as many as me, so let's let you go first here. What are your highlights from this episode?
Poor Orko, like Adam holds up his show all the time.
That's true.
I love Marlena's reference to Earth culture. I think that's great that they can kind of bring that in. And they're basically saying that this isn't Earth. This is a distant planet different from Earth, and I like that. A goat for a king. Well, at least he can't talk and walk on 2 legs.
True.
That's a bad Law and Order reference right there, ladies and gentlemen.
As always.
It's also a religious reference as well.
TFG1Mike, the man of many references.
Shut the hell up.
Okay.
Orko as a cricket. Yikes. That's
Jiminy Cricket. Jiminy Orko.
Yeah. Poor Cringer. At first I thought it was Evelyn turning
Back to Earth.
Yeah. No. When Cringer No. I thought what happened was when Cringer comes up to Adam, when he wakes Adam up, I thought that was Evelyn having Beastman be a copy of the cat. I didn't realize it was actually. I mean, I know Cringer's a free cat, but she was copying everything else, so I figured, Yeah. I love the nearly caught in the act after the transformation scene. I thought that was great.
Nice touch there.
Yeah. Good thing Tila is not a princess, because her being a frog would just be ironic.
That's true.
What do you got?
I liked how the episode started with the mid-training going on with, I don't know if he was He-Man at the time or Prince Adam, but I think it was...
It was Adam.
Yeah, it's Adam. That we kind of saw right away that he was battling some things, but it was all kind of like this training thing set up by Man-at-Arms. I thought that was a cool way to start the episode. When Adam's holding up Orko's little shindig, I like that He-Man kind of shows how much he's putting on an act, because in one of his statements he's like, Prince Adam's going to be late unless I hurry. It's just kind of that character within a character type thing. As he's very...
Was Orko in that scene?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
No,
either.
I think Orko was back at the palace.
Okay, I was gonna say because it was Man-at-Arms and Tila. Wait, no, couldn't have been Tila because
but it was after they had he was with Man-at-Arms, and it might have been just Man-at-Arms, but he's like, yeah, Prince Adam will be late unless I hurry. I think Tila was back with Orko. I don't quite remember, but I just know that he's basically saying that, and it was kind of funny that he was recognizing him, the connection, obviously. I just thought it was just a cool touch. I like the look of Majestra as far as a lot of the different clones that we've seen, or different faces that Eva Lynn's put on. I kind of thought that her complete look was cool.
Yeah.
And I think the shaping staff has a cool power. This is something we haven't seen completely before. We know they're magical creatures and whatnot, but the shaping staff being able to, make something into whatever form it wants, recreate things, clone things, do stuff. I mean, it was a very cool instrument to have. And more valuable than it was treated at times.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that apparently, we talk about Adam being lazy, and that he puts on this show as being lazy and being, completely, anti-hero.
Right.
Apparently, his reputation for being lazy is known throughout Eternia. Because they talk about it in this episode as if everyone knows Adam's lazy. Like, it wasn't just Tila saying something about it. I think it was like Skeletor or one of the evil warriors talk about, Prince Adam being a lazy person. And I thought that was funny that they kind of showed that his reputation it's not just Tila picking on him, but everybody knows Adam as a lazy, not to be worried about character.
Right.
I like Faker. As far as I like the idea that they had a clone basically of He-Man with just as much power as He-Man, and that they're going to have to face off against each other. I just always like when stuff like that happens. And I thought there was a very cool scene where we actually get to see Battlecat attacking Beastman.
Yeah.
Battlecat usually doesn't get much action, or he's dealing with, a beast of some sort. We don't usually see him take on an actual evil warrior. And he was mauling Beastman.
Yes, he was.
So that was probably one of my favorite moments of the episode overall.
Now let me ask you this. I don't think we've brought this up before. Do you think the reason why Beastman has never tried to control Battlecat is because Battlecat is infused with the power of Grayskull?
Oh, it's a good question. Yeah, we've never seen him try to use or not that he would need to, but he's never done anything with Panther either.
Well, Panther, no, it wouldn't.
No, I'm just saying you wouldn't need to, but we've never seen him do anything with any of the main animals. It's always just some beasts that we see or some creatures of some sort.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if he is if Battlecat's just immune to it. If he could he do anything with Cringer? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can find any answers for other questions in Snake Mountain.
I will make another He-Man, an evil one called Faker. I have done it! A perfect likeness of He-Man. Sometimes my power even amazes me. Faker, you must get the sorceress to leave Grayskull. Outside the castle, her magic is weaker, and I can overpower her. In this dim light, she'll think you're He-Man.
So, unfortunately, I feel like you're going to have some here. What did you find for yourself in Snake Mountain?
like Majestra isn't Evelyn. I saw that coming a mile away.
See, for me, that didn't ruin anything. I was always questioning it, though. I find myself liking the fact that I always have to guess. Like, I'm like, is that Evelyn? Is it not Evelyn? And I'm waiting for the reveal. I'm always waiting for the reveal. Like, is it going to be her?
To guess. This one I didn't have to guess. So wait. Sorceress turns... No. Evelyn turns He-Man golden with the shaping staff. Yet when at Grayskull, he is normal color. And then he's golden again. There's a point in Grayskull when the Sorceress is there. It's a huge animation flub. Because she had already frozen... Evelyn had already frozen He-Man to be golden. And... Yeah. Other than that, just outside of my overall kind of like meh attitude towards this episode, there really wasn't anything other than those two things that kind of jumped out at me as far as like, oh my god, this sucks.
There was some weird, for me, this is probably my only gripe about this episode. I have a couple minor things, but my only major gripe was the animation in this episode was a little not fluid.
Yeah.
And there were some weird still frames that were used.
Yeah, there were.
Just weird poses or weird times where they decided to use a still frame. Animation-wise, this wasn't the best episode. The minor ones, the Queen's voice in this one.
It was off.
It was terrible. I'm pretty sure that was Lou Scheimer's wife. But it was just bad. It was like stark, like shockingly bad. Like it like distracted me when she spoke. Luckily, she didn't speak a lot. And then just some minor things as far as the story goes. First of all, was Beastman the best choice to be the King Randor imposter? No, I'm serious here. Like, Beastman is not smart.
No, yeah, I know.
Like, you're having someone that's going to pose as a king in a somewhat important position that's supposed to, sell the fact that this is the king. Like, I'm thinking Trapjaw's a better choice. I'm thinking Triclops is a better choice. Skeletor's a real easy choice. And they went with Beastman, who honestly is probably the worst choice they could have made for that.
Yeah.
Like, it did shock us all when it's revealed that it's Beastman, because most of us are thinking that's going to be Skeletor. But, like, that's just bad choice on the Evil Warriors. You should not have chosen Beastman to be the King Randor impersonator. My other slight issue with some things is the shaping staff itself.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. It has lots of powers, but why is it being treated like it's not very important at times in this episode?
Yeah.
There's times where it's... I don't want to give away too much of what's going to come up here in a little bit, but there's a couple different times where it's just like discarded almost.
Yeah.
Like it's not important or like it's not, valuable. And to me, that was just bad on the Evil Warriors for them not realizing what kind of power it had and to treat it better.
Right.
But I'll get more into that in a minute. So those were my lowlights, kind of. Mainly the animation-wise, Queen's voice. But, yeah. So
right.
I think it's time to see who gets some awards for this show, and for this episode. I'm interested to see how we both rank this one, because I think we're going to have stark contrast in our rankings.
Don't worry, Orko. We'll help you and rescue my father. Let's go, Cringer.
Oh, do we have to?
Do you want me to go alone?
You sure you want me to answer that?
By the power of Grayskull!
I hate this part.
Prince. He-Man!
Evil Lyn and Beastman. So, Adam's fears were
It's
right.
time to hand out some hardware. What do you got? Anybody getting a power sword or a Havoc staff in this one?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nobody deserved any power swords for good deeds done. No one deserved to be bashed over the head with havoc staffs.
I disagree. I am giving a power sword out to the shaping staff. I don't know if that...
You're giving a weapon to the weapon.
Yes, I don't know if that's been done before here on...
No, that hasn't been done before.
I'm giving a power sword to the shaping staff because I think it was a badass weapon. It was capable of recreating someone just as powerful as He-Man. It was capable of putting an imposter king in there. It was capable of turning people gold. It was a badass weapon. It looked cool. That's a good asset to have on your side. All right. On the flip side, I'm also giving a Havoc staff out to the entire Evil Warrior grouping. All of the Evil Warriors, as a group, get bashed in the head with a Havoc staff.
Okay.
First off, for choosing Beastman to be King Randor. Second off, for their misuse of the ultimate weapon here in the shaping staff. For a couple different reasons. At one point, Evil Lyn has turned the king into a goat, and Orko into a cricket, and Tila into a frog.
Yeah.
And she's getting ready to leave, and I believe Man-at-Arms and one other character are still standing there.
And she doesn't do anything to them.
And she's like, oh, they're not important enough to worry about. I don't need to, I've turned everybody else into useless things that aren't going to hurt us at all that we can control. Those two don't matter. I don't have time for that. Let's get out of here. Are you kidding me? You've got a chance to take out everybody, you take out everybody. Yeah. You don't leave somebody standing that can help save the day. So Evil Lyn, you're an idiot for that part. And then there's just a couple different parts where it's like the shaping staff's just like laying on the ground or just discarded, where Skeletor does.
Yes, moments. Yeah.
And it's just like, what? Like, no, Evil Warriors, you have failed on everything you've done in this episode. You've misstepped, you've misplanned, you've misexecuted. Bad job, Evil Warriors. Like, this isn't just where He-Man outpowered you with his strength. This is like a sporting game where you went in with the wrong game plan. Your coach made bad decisions. You made bad plays during the game. Like, Havoc staff to all of you. So that's my rant. Let's get into our rankings and a little argument here. What did you give the shaping staff?
Now that we've talked it out and now that I've thought about it.
Oh, I've converted you?
No, not really. It's not as bad as... I don't know. It's not as bad as some of the other episodes we've talked about, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I did enjoy a lot of moments of it, but I just can't get past the whole... I saw that coming. Ooh. That happened. I just can't get over the predictability of the episode, so that takes 2 points off for me. So 3 out of 5 Orcos.
All right. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Let me preface this by saying I might be slightly biased. I am now watching the episodes in a different way than I was before. Before I was watching it on my computer. I was either watching DVD copies on my computer or occasionally on Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, I now have a very large TV in my living room.
Yeah.
Like a 55-inch or something. LED, nice new, very cool TV.
Yeah.
And I have Netflix streaming, and I went out and got one of like the little, not Roku, not Apple TV, but one that I think is just as good as those things. So now I can stream straight on to the big screen.
Right.
So I got to watch these in 55-inch, high definition, excellent looking. I mean, I know it's not Blu-ray, so it's not completely high def, but it looked like it was.
Right.
And it was amazing watching it there on the couch. So that might have been part of my enjoyment of this episode. I don't know. But I really enjoyed this episode. I liked the shaping staff. I liked Faker. I liked everything about this episode. Some of the animation kind of made me knock it down a little bit. from perfect. So I'll give this one a 4.5. I don't know. I like this episode.
Just give it a fucking 5, dude.
Didn't quite get to 5. Nice try, Paul Dini. You're almost there. Keep up the good work. And with that, it is time for the Cosmic Comet.
We'll be back, He-Man.
Make sure you wash up first.
Well, they won't be bothering us for a while.
I'm afraid that's not true. This attack was only a test.
Of what?
The power of the Cosmic Comet. Skeletor plans to use it against Eternia.
Well, we'll just have to stop him.
It will take more than just courage, He-Man. Zagraz will explain it to you.
Who is Zagraz?
He's the wizard of Zagros Mountain.
More than a wizard. He's keeper of the comets. You must seek him out. And hurry!
So we've come to the end of another week back in 1983, Friday, September 30th, for the Cosmic Comet. And just like last episode where we had a very well-known writer, this time we get a pair of them, Larry DiTillio and Tom Ruegger, writing for the Cosmic Comet. Larry DiTillio, up to this point, we have reviewed The Time Corridor and Dragon's Gift, which he wrote. This is the one and only episode that Tom Ruegger takes apart in the writing.
And for those that don't know really quickly, Tom Ruegger is behind such stuff as Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs.
Yes. So this is how we end our week here with the Cosmic Comet. Quickly getting into the plot. As the Cosmic Comet flies dangerously close to the planet of Eternia, the evil warriors use the opportunity to take possession of the mighty comet, making them more powerful and capable of overthrowing Castle Grayskull. The heroes journey across Eternia to meet the one responsible for the Cosmic Comet's cold-heartedness, Zagros, the Comet Keeper of Zagros Mountain. As the evil warriors prepare to launch their cosmic assaults, Zagros must rediscover his lost confidence in order to save Eternia from certain destruction. We get Evil Lyn and Skeletor basically the regular bad guys, and we get the regular good guys. Really no change in all of that. And the PSA was all about believing in yourself and being confident, because Zagros was not.
Yes.
So what's your thoughts on the Cosmic Comet plot?
Oh, nice pun there, He-Man. Tell them dirty bad guys who's boss. It's the very beginning of the episode. He insulted Skeletor. I think he called him a fool, or it's so weird when He-Man insults people.
He called somebody a loser in one of these episodes.
That's it. He called Skeletor a loser. That's what it is. That's what it was. It's so weird for me. The overall plot, I really like this. I think it's a really good plot. I think it's a really good message as far as, being able to find confidence in yourself to do something that you really want to do, or something that you know that you can do in the back of your mind. So I thought this was a really damn good episode. I like the plot overall. There's nothing really that I can say bad about the plot. So, yay, Larry DiTillio and Tom Ruegger.
You remember when you said Paul Dini and you couldn't believe he let you down?
Yeah. Oh, no.
I couldn't believe that Larry DiTillio and Tom Ruegger let me down on this one.
Seriously? You don't like this?
Okay, I want to like this. There's a lot to like about the episode. I don't know if I 100% understand the concept of the evil warriors using the power of the comet to become more powerful.
Because, okay, let me try to explain it to you. Because the comet...
I get that the comet's bad because it's been separated from the good half, and it's...
Right, exactly, because it got lonely and it got angry, and this...
It's harnessing that to get...
I can feel your hatred. Join me in the darks. I mean, come on, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as Return of the Jedi with the Emperor, where the Emperor is going to use Luke's hatred against everybody in the universe. That's essentially what you have here with the comet, is that it's an evil comet.
Much.
Huh?
I just have trouble buying it this way it's presented in this one, and I got some major problems with the Cosmic Comet itself. Now, like I said, there's a lot to like, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But
Beforehand, though, the other note I made for the overall plot, and it's bugging the hell out of me. I didn't mention it in shaping staff, but we've had 2 episodes in a row where the sorceress is herself and not Zor outside of the walls of Grayskull. Last episode, she was standing. They were at Grayskull because Faker is there, but she was standing outside. Now, again, Masters of the Universe fans, diehard fans, historians, whatever, email me, let us know, email feedback at Geekcast Radio, email me directly, tfg1mike at gmail.com. Let me know the deal with Sorceress, because as far as I understand it, as soon as, even if it's on the Castle Grayskull property, as soon as she sets foot outside of that castle, she turns into the fucking bird. This episode and the last episode, she was standing outside the castle and she was herself. It's just, I don't know if it's bad writing, if it's wrong animation, or what the deal is, what the hell's going on here, because that's been the main storyline for her the entire time that we've been reviewing these episodes, is that every time she's out of the castle, she's the bird. And this episode and last episode, she was out of the castle and she was her human form. So we need answers, damn it.
We'll have to wait and see then what the deal is with Sorceress / Zor. But before I get into my problems with the plot, we'll save that for a journey into Snake Mountain. But let's go to Castle Grayskull first.
Hold it, attack track. Affirmative. Full stop.
Wow.
What's that?
Zagraz Mountain. We're here.
Affirmative. Any special instructions?
Yeah, turn back.
All right, I just have a couple things that I found in Castle Grayskull, so I'll get them out of the way real quick first. Obviously, as I said in the discussion of the shaping staff, it's very commonplace to have basically a device or a weapon or a, creature of the week or a, plot device of the week. In this case, it's the Cosmic Comet. But what I do like here is that we actually get a backstory for the device of the week.
Right.
Instead of just having this thing which we're told what it can do, like, here's this and it has this power, or here's this, it came from here and this is the power, we actually get a actual backstory here of, like, where did the Cosmic Comet come from, why does it have this power, what's behind it all. So that was kind of cool. Whereas the last episode we did have some animation weirdness and some weird still shots, there was a very cool scene in this episode that I haven't seen very often in the series, where we get a 360-degree pan around the scene. It basically does a rotating look where we get to see the complete scene kind of encircled.
Okay.
And I thought that was very cool. And my other one is Zagras. Now, he's somewhat annoying. I get that. Some people might find him annoying. And he's got that, what is it, the White Rabbit or the Mad Hatter?
Don't you know?
Type. Yeah. Well, the type of that vibe of the character. Who's the freaking character in Alice in Wonderland who's going to be late?
Right, with the White Rabbit.
Yeah, the White Rabbit. He's kind of got that sound and that feel to him. It's cool to me because even though my sources are saying that that's John Irwin, it's a unique voice for this series.
Right.
It was one of the first times where I wasn't 100% sure who was doing the voice. I actually thought it might be Alan Oppenheimer. I'm like, I don't know who is doing this, but it sounds different from your normal, because you have the the couple different voices that Lou Scheimer does. I mean, he does a lot of different voices, but he has.
But you can tell which voices Lou does.
Right, he has like 4 or 5 different voices. They all are variations on the same thing. John Irwin, you can usually hear the essence of his voice in whatever he does. Alan Oppenheimer is a little bit more skilled at disguising the voice, but you can usually tell who's doing what. It's almost like Thundercats or Silverhawks, where you're like, oh, that's Larry Kenney doing that,
right,
or whatever. For this one, it was just unique to me. This is a different voice. It was a fresh to the ears when you're in a series where you're used to hearing 5 people do all the voices, it's like, oh, who is this? This is a new voice. So I really enjoyed Zagras as a character. What about you? What kind of things did you like about this episode?
Let's see here. I love that the king allows Orko to go along in order to not have him practice magic. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Common creatures, yikes, run! I swear to God, Cringer is like my grandfather. I swear. Foolish children. It's just the voice that Oppenheimer uses for Cringer.
Yeah, I like it.
I really did like that they were doing a confidence episode. I thought that was very interesting. And again, if you think about it, back in the 80s, kids growing up and stuff like that, even nowadays, this episode holds up to nowadays standards as far as, sending a good message to kids. Even back then it did. It was so cool. I thought it was a really, really great way of proving to anyone that, even if you've lost confidence in yourself, you can always find it again.
That's true.
So I thought that was really cool. I love the Attack Track sense of humor.
It is funny.
Very dry sense of humor. Poor Beastman. Yuck. More mud.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
I thought that was pretty good. But that's all I have for Grayskull.
All right, enough with this good stuff about this episode. Let's get to the real stuff, the bad stuff. Snake Mountain.
The time has come. Join hands as we bring together our mystic powers.
All right, since you are a Larry DiTillio apologist now.
Hey!
No offense, I love Larry DiTillio too, but you probably don't have much for Snake Mountain moments.
No, not really.
Exactly.
Seriously, Adam has to trip, fall, and then Tila saves him. Really? Hello, She-Ra. Sorry. So
we're not there yet.
I'm in this moment. But no, I like I said in the Castle Grayskull moments, I like the writing of this one. I like the whole message thing in this episode. So I don't know what. All right. So what kind of evil things do you not like about this episode?
All right. First of all, just the minor one. There's always animation errors and weird things, but there's the scene where Tila's running, and she has to come to a stop, and then change directions and run back. I've never seen someone run like that. That was awful.
Yeah.
Like, come on, whoever was in charge of animating that scene, like when they watched the episode, did they get stuff thrown at them at least? Like, hey,
right,
numbskull.
This is what, the 19th or the 20th episode of the series that we're up to at this point?
Yeah, something like that.
In 20 episodes that we've reviewed in 7 podcasts, we established from the very beginning the running scenes in this show suck.
I mean, the only way that's believable if that's like like a gigantic, like we're talking Jack and the Beanstalk, like you go up and this is some gigantic individual running, that it would take that amount of effort to stop, plant, and then return the other direction. Like, it was awful. Creatures?
Yes.
Skeletor summons... These things are going to appear, and we're going to call them creatures.
Comet creatures, yes.
He's like, and the creatures will get him. And, like, that just seems like such a vague name. But they're known like that, apparently, because then Tila refers to them as creatures.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt weird. It was like...
Well, the whole thing about the comet creatures in the episode is they're not a red herring, but they are a plot device, because obviously Orko vacuums their broken pieces up, and that's how they can then form the new comet at the end. So they're more so like a Matrix of Leadership type MacGuffin thing.
Gotcha.
And I wouldn't call them creatures. I know they do. I would call them, I don't know.
I'm just thinking there could have been a better name. It seems so
Comet
generic.
robots or they're, because creature to me means holy shit. There's a snake on your shoulder.
Yeah, it just seemed weird for Skeletor to like. It was like he was thinking he couldn't come up with anything. He's like, they're creatures, and like that's what we went with. I know that's a nitpick or whatever, but my main problem with this episode, the only thing that stops me from really, really, really enjoying and liking this episode, because I like Zagras and I like the whole confidence thing and that he's got to gain it back and, you know, whatever. The Cosmic Comet just ruins it for me. First of all, Orko collects these little pieces.
Yes.
In his vacuum arm, which was cool. You know, and we know we're going to need those later on, so the sorceress or whoever is like, I need some pieces of the actual comet. Well, here we go, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. So he dumps out these, like, 5 little pieces. Next time we see these pieces, they have grown. Like, they were like 5 little shards of glass, basically. Like, the size of no bigger than, like, a sheet of paper. Like, we're talking 7 by 11 size here.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there was enough pieces and they were big enough to form like a comet.
Mm.
Like they grew immensely. I don't understand why that happened.
Because they're why it happened is because she has to form it and then she gives it to He-Man to...
Right, I get that she had to form it, but she took this is like equivalent of Jesus taking 5 little fish and turning it into 10,000 or whatever the fuck he did.
Right, but what I'm saying is and it's also the fact of, let's fill this comet with love and hope and goodness, and that was the whole thing of, hey, let's do teamwork as well as rebuilding Zagras's confidence. I don't know.
And then the comet talks.
Yeah.
Then the comet talks. It's bad enough that I have to, suspend my childhood fantastical imagination and believe that there was these 2 comets, like sperm and egg here, that were flying around the world in perfect harmony because they had each other. But then the yin and the yang got messed up. And the one of them's gone, so the other one's a nasty asshole. And, so we need to counter it by bringing back a good comet to balance it out. And then they speak like they're a freaking character. The Cosmic Comet ruins it for me in this one. This love yin-yang relationship, the ability to speak when you're a comet. I wanted to bash my head against a wall somewhere. I'm sorry. I just can't get past it. The Cosmic Comet ruins it. If Zagras was a cool character, he could have had something else, like he was in charge, he could control the comets, but let's not make them into characters that have feelings and can speak and are all about let's build them up with good feelings and Care Bear. Let's get our Care Bear cheer on, and we'll cure the problems here. Like, it could have been something where he had just convinced himself that he could no longer control the comet, and he had to gain confidence in some way so that he could actually use his power to control it. Then I could have accepted the episode, but we let the comet take on its own identity. Boo. Boo to you, whoever came up with that idea, Mr. Ruger, Mr. DiTilio. One of you needs to claim ownership of that idea so I can smack you in the face. Okay, I'm done with it.
Okay, then. Awards?
Yeah, let's make this more positive and give out some awards.
We'll be back, He-Man!
Make sure you wash up first.
All right, Mr. No Awards for episode 19. That means you should have something to hand out in episode 20. What is it?
I gotta give a power sword to Orko for having some brains and vacuuming up the pieces, because he does go up to them and say, maybe these could be good for later. Yes, I know it's a big old plot device, like I said before, but I thought that was because, in 20 episodes, Orko has had how many, really, really awesome, good, light bulb, oh my god moments of he's not just this dumb character we all assume he is. So I gotta give a power sword to Orko.
I can see that. There's more?
Yeah. I gotta bash a Havoc staff over Zagras's head. Get your head out of your ass and get your damn confidence back, old man.
All right.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, sir, let's see.
Uh-oh.
I am actually going to give a power sword to Zagras. You gave a Havoc staff to him. And I'm going to do that, first of all, for being a completely unique and new character.
I see that. I agree with that.
He's got the different voice. It's a breath of fresh air. It's something completely different from anything we've seen before. He obviously does save the day or whatever, but it's more so for just being that fresh voice, fresh look, fresh type of character that I appreciated in this episode. I, too, also have a Havoc staff, and since apparently it's a character that can speak, we can give a Havoc staff and beat the hell out of the Cosmic Comet so that we never have to see it again. For being a character, you get bashed with a Havoc staff. What do you rate this episode?
Well, we're going to have very different ratings on this. 5 out of 5.
Fucking 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 Orcos. I really like the message behind it because, like I said, it's a good message. I like the various little quips and stuff like that. I don't know. When I was watching this, I just found myself really, really enjoying it.
There's no way this episode is better than the Shaping Staff. They're it's very similar. They have the Cosmic Comet, double C, and the double S, the Shaping Staff. They're right next to each other. Shaping Staff was better. Okay, I didn't hate this episode like it may sound like. There was a lot to like about this episode. But I cannot give this a 5 out of 5. We'll settle for 3 out of 5 for the Cosmic Comet. 3. Not better than the Shaping Staff. You idiot. You've been the Care Bear stare, I think, affected you in this one.
No, not at all.
They had their bellies going, and you got brainwashed by the cosmic love. I can't speak of this episode anymore. Let's move on to episode 21.
He-Man, I can use my powers in reverse to keep Skeletor at bay. Get Skeletor in front of the mirror.
I may not have acquired the castle's secrets, but once the White Hole is gone, you, the castle, and all your friends here will never be able to return to Eternia.
Take over, Sorceress. But first...
So we're starting off a new week here, Monday, October 3rd, 1983. First episode of October back when we were kids here on a Monday. And I got to admit, I was a little worried when I saw that the writer of this episode was the writer of Like Father, Like Daughter, Janice Diamond.
Yes.
A little worried, but I said to myself, give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right, the plot for The Taking of Grayskull. A series of odd occurrences causes the people of Eternia to battle strange forces across the planet. While battling one of these forces, He-Man's sword of power vanishes, much to his surprise. Soon the heroes discover that Castle Grayskull has also vanished into a white hole that Skeletor has created. Entering the white hole, He-Man, Battlecat, and Teela, by accident, discover a strange, eerie dimension with no direction and soon stand before Castle Grayskull, which is now ruled by Skeletor. We get the regular bad guy here, Skeletor. That's basically about it. Masters, we get the regulars, but we do get a brief and rare occurrence of Ram Man showing up in this episode. But as far as the plot goes, we basically have, Castle Grayskull being pulled into another dimension, and He-Man having to get it back, and in the meantime try to recover his sword. So what did you think about the plot here of this alternate dimension where Skeletor rules Castle Grayskull?
I liked it. Again, I thought it was interesting and different. It's not your average Skeletor plot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least not to this point, because an average Skeletor plot is, hey, let me aim my Havoc staff at it and fire on it, or let me go get a ram beast or whatever, and just do something that way. I really like that about it. At first, I was really not that interested in the side story here, with it being Orko's birthday, and he's, trying to get everybody to notice and thinking that no one is going to remember, which in fact they all did, and they're all going to throw him a surprise party. I have a note later when we get to Snake Mountain that basically says, wait, why did this... Because what I find interesting about this episode is no one knows what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I like that about it.
I like that about it, and I think that was great. No one knows what the hell is going on. He-Man's sword disappears, and I'm like, wait, his fucking sword what the hell happened? And then it kind of dawned on me, like, when they started talking about, oh, this is the time holder, or this is this, or this is that. And then Orko comes up and says, oh, hey, Grayskull's gone, blah, 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 blah. So you'd think, because the sword is tied to Grayskull, obviously, that if Grayskull's gone, then the sword would be gone. But they didn't... I think it took them, in the plot, it took too long to explain that.
I thought it was a very complex plot.
Yeah, it was. It was like, what the...
This might have been over the head of some kids that were watching it.
Oh, most definitely. This was the season, at least to this point, season 1's out there psychedelic type of episode for me.
It was probably a favorite episode of anybody that's grew up with the show and is now a pothead. They could do some acid or smoke some crazy stuff and watch this episode, and they'll think they're watching a Pink Floyd video or something. I mean, it's got some weird stuff going on in that alternate dimension.
Yeah, it's a little nuts. The PSA was just a generic PSA. Well, okay, it wasn't generic because it did fit into the plot because Orko did, yeah. But, I don't know.
Yeah, basically Orko overeats before he finds his surprise party with his cake. He can't eat anything because he's gorged himself on sweets and whatnot. So yeah, don't ruin your dinner. But the question here is, which Castle Grayskull are we going to, and where is it? Let's find out.
Find out, yeah.
Gotta go now.
I never thought she'd forget my birthday. She must have something more important on her mind.
I'll see you later then, my dear.
Good morning, sire. Isn't this a beautiful day for...
Yes. Seems like a pleasant enough day.
For a birthday? I can't believe this. Someone's got to remember what today is. I know. Chef Allen. He probably will make a birthday cake for me right this minute.
No, not right now. I'm very busy, Orko.
But Chef Allen, it's my...
I'm sorry, Orko. I just don't have any time to talk now. I'm very busy, very busy.
Oh. You'd think someone would remember. But no, everybody's busy. No time for old Orko.
Happy birthday, Orko.
Now that's one beautiful cake. Chef Allen's outdone himself.
Uh-huh. He thinks we've all forgotten his birthday. I really think we have Orko fooled.
Yeah, surprise party and all. It's gonna be a great birthday for him.
Oh, I thought I'd find you both here.
Father, what is it?
Well, there are problems in the province of Basilia. Strange things are happening, disrupting the area, destroying property. I wouldn't be surprised if Skeletor were at the bottom of all of this.
I'll summon my troops and get right out there.
And I'll contact Ram Man. He may be of help.
Thanks. Tell him we'll meet him in Basilia. Cringer, we've got work ahead of us. Come on, Cringer. We've got to get to Basilia.
I'd rather stay back here with that cake.
By the power of Grayskull!
Come on, Battle Cat.
Let's go! But I'd still like a piece of that cake.
So I didn't write down a whole lot of stuff for this episode because it was a kind of an episode that just kind of like I got caught up in watching it and like trying to figure out some of the different parts of the complex plot and figure out what my opinions are, and then I'm being distracted by all this psychedelic weirdness that's going on in the alternate dimension. But I did come up with a few highlights. First of all, I do like that we have the side story of Orko's birthday. And I like that because every kid has their birthday, and sometimes, you know, kids feel like, you know, people are forgetting about it, or, you know, they're not being made special enough on their birthday or whatever. So I think it's something kids could relate to. And, you know, Orko's a perfect character. That's something that was good for him to have. So I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't decide whether to put this as something I found in Grayskull or something I found in Snake Mountain.
Okay.
Who the fuck is Chef Allen?
Okay, now.
No, hold on.
Okay, no, I know. We have not seen anyone to this point.
The bad part is we're 20 episodes in.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we see this character that is a staple of the castle, apparently. The Royal Palace here.
Yeah.
So for that, that's like a what the fuck moment, and that's why I would put it in Snake Mountain. Like, if this guy is the chef of the Royal Palace, we should have seen him by now, or something. The good part is, well, this episode is showing us more of the Royal Palace and gives us a better picture of what it encompasses.
Right.
It's not just the heroes, there's other people there. And it's not just the clone troopers here, Man-at-Arms controls. You know, there are people. You know, Orko's the jester. Apparently we have a chef. So maybe there's more people we haven't met. But it was just kind of a what the fuck moment when all of a sudden we're like, Chef Allen? Who?
Well, Chef Allen, the only reason why I didn't have a what the fuck moment about him and why I like seeing him is because I had seen him before this. Now, this comes way later because Skeletor disguises himself as Chef Allen in Secret of the Sword.
Okay.
When they give the big giant cake and it turns into Hordak in the Secret of the Sword movie, it's in that. So that's why I was like, oh, hey, look, Chef Allen, cool. So that's where he started, you know. So that's why I didn't have that big of a problem with it.
So
but I can see if, you know, if someone just watching the series for the first time and you're 20 episodes in and all of a sudden they throw a chef at you,
a regular at the castle apparently.
Yeah.
I thought Ram Man was cool in this episode. I thought, you know, he busted up a couple of things early on, and it's just cool to see him. They should use him more often.
Yeah.
So it's cool that he was in there, and I like that there was a complex plot. I like that they kind of threw in something for the you know, the more, I don't want to say intelligent, but the more, you know, complex thinkers for the kids. You know, obviously it would have been over some people's heads, so that's a bad thing, but it would have given, you know, some people a little more to chew on as far as just your, you know, like everyone calls it, whatever, your little toy commercial series or whatever. Give you something to chew on this one, so I like that.
Right.
What about you, sir?
The whirlwind that gets unwound and sent off planet.
That was cool. I forgot about that. He-Man can take care of tornadoes.
Yes. I really love the alternate dimension colors and backgrounds and all. It's something we've never seen. I thought that was really, really cool. I agree with most of your moments, and the last one I wrote down was "Fly, Grayskull, fly." It's just so weird.
I'm going to talk more about that in a second.
Yeah.
In Snake Mountain.
Let's get there then.
All right.
See if you stand up to my stun ray.
Look closely, Skeletor. Look at my sword. Even in this evil dimension, it can draw power from the good that lies in Castle Grayskull. You're a loser, Skeletor.
You'll see who the loser is. This should stop you for a while.
All right, in Snake Mountain, I only have one thing.
Okay.
And basically, I'm watching this episode, and I was completely convinced that Janice Diamond, that's her name, right?
Yes.
Had completely vindicated herself for the shitstorm that was like father, like daughter.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, it's kind of weird, it's kind of complex, it's kind of psychedelic, trippy, etc. But I'm like, I kind of really dig the fact that, we've got Grayskull into different dimensions. Skeletor is sitting in the throne. He's found a way to do it. He-Man's sword is gone. All this other stuff, we got to figure out a way to get it back, etc., etc. Where this episode loses me. Okay, we have He-Man. He's under Castle Grayskull. And he's trying to lift it up. Basically, he's trying to pick up Castle Grayskull.
Right.
And he is struggling like nobody's business.
Right.
Right, and we got to get all the power we can to try to lift this thing up, and he's barely being able to lift it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fucking throws the thing across the universe. I wish they would have done something besides having him throw Grayskull back into our dimension, Eternia's dimension. I needed him to be struggling to pick it up, and I just think it was bad. I don't know. I wish he wouldn't have had to even pick it up. I wish there was something else that could have been done to get Castle Grayskull back to Eternia. And it just was a weird thing that it was so freaking hard for him to pick up, but so easy for him to throw. If it's that hard to pick something up, you're going to be able to throw it about 5 feet.
Yeah.
He whipped that sucker across the universe.
Yep.
So that's the part of the episode that kind of dropped off the shelf for me. What did you not like about this episode?
Well, you kind of already mentioned it. What I didn't like is they don't explain the damn plan. Before that whole scene, the scene previous to it, Sorceress is like, He-Man, it's time, it's this, it's that. And then he's walking out and over to the middle of the bottom of Grayskull or whatever else, and he's like, I gotta find the fulcrum point. Fulcrum point for what, you dumb fuck? You didn't explain the damn thing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Sorceress, I'm ready. I need you to infuse me with all of the powers of Grey. Now, I will say, as far as your negative, I will say that they did explain that a little bit as to why he can throw. I understand your complaint about not being able to pick it up properly, but once he does, he asks her for the full powers of Grayskull.
Oh, he asked that before he could even pick it up, though.
Did he?
Yeah, he's trying to pick it up and is struggling, and then he asks for it, and that allows him to pick it up.
Right.
Still somewhat struggling with it, though.
Yeah.
And then it's at ease that he can throw this thing, and how far it goes is even worse.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the main problem is how far the thing goes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. At the beginning, Man-at-Arms. Okay, yes, I know. He-Man came before Mask, but we started reviewing Mask before He-Man. So, Man-at-Arms just pulled a Mask assumption. It must be Skeletor behind these disappearances, or strange whatevers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand now why this happened because I kind of already explained this away, but I had written this down. Wait, why does He-Man's sword disappear after he sends the whirlwind off planet? But obviously, as I said a second ago earlier in the episode, where if something happens to Grayskull, obviously something's going to happen to the sword. What I do like, though, is they had the sword. It's so weird. It's so strange. They had the sword following everyone around as a red dot.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Again, playing into the whole psychedelia thing, but other than that, okay, no. At the end, this is my final Snake-Man moment. I don't believe for one damn minute that there just happened to be a sky slid there for Skeletor to escape.
Skeletor has stuff when he needs it.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah.
Well, let's see what we can hand out for this episode.
That should be the fulcrum point. Help me, sorceress! Give me the strength of the castle's secrets!
I hear you, and I am trying. He-Man, may you have all of the powers, all of the strength that dwell in the secrets of truth and knowledge.
I can do it!
All right, sir. What do you have in your trophy case for the taking of Grayskull?
I gotta give Parasword to Skeletor. He had a damn interesting plan to essentially strand the people of Eternia on their planet and take He-Man's one power source away into another dimension. I thought that was really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's his dimension, so he can control Castle Grayskull. I don't know if it does anything for him taking over Eternia, unless he's just going to chill on this alternate dimension by himself and rule nobody, really. But, no, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. What about you?
I really didn't find anybody that stood out either way for me on this one. Nobody that really pissed me off, but nobody that really excited me. So I'm going to keep my awards to myself.
Okay.
How about your rating, sir?
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Orcos. The whole, the whole writing part of this of not explaining, what the hell He-Man was gonna do when he mentioned the fulcrum point and stuff, little writing things like that, it could have taken one extra line or one extra sentence to actually explain what the hell. But yeah, I give it 4 to 5 Orcos. What about you?
I want to give it a little bit more. I like the complexity of the plot. I like some of the opportunities we had here. Thought it was a little bit missed with how it ended and how throwing Castle Grayskull, etc. kind of took away from the episode a little bit. So I'm going to knock it down to a 3.5. But I'm kind of on par with you on this one.
Alrighty then.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break for some commercials and ads and whatnot, and we will be back with our overall thoughts on the series. And
in today's story, you saw what happened when a stranger came to the palace. She turned out to be evil and dangerous. Of course, turning people into animals is only make-believe, but there is nothing make-believe about how dangerous some strangers can be in real life. Never accept any food or toys or money from a stranger. Don't even talk to them. And no matter what a stranger may say, never go away with them. Terrible things have happened to some kids who did. The smart thing is to just walk away, or in my case, just float away.
Pixels in the Animation is the next cartoon review podcast series in the Geekcast Radio Network's long history of review series. We've had Transformers, He-Man, and Mask as far as the cartoon review podcasts we have done. Now we bring in TV's Mr. Neil as he and TFG1Mike break down 9 video game cartoon series. Steve Megatron will join us for the Mega Man and Sonic episodes. We will be reviewing and analyzing every episode of the Mario, Zelda, Captain N, Mega Man, Donkey Kong, and Sonic cartoons. You can expect us to go in-depth and also talk about the game franchises that spawned these cartoons. So tune in summer 2013 as we find the pixels in the animation.
Welcome to my throne room, Future Tales. The Beast Unleashed podcast is over, not gone. You can hear more of this great podcast, discussing all the episodes of Beast Wars and Beast Machines on GeekCastRadio.com. We include voice actor and writer interviews with stellar hosting by Steve, Mike, and Michael. Head on over to iTunes or the net, or else I will send you my vehicles to extract your spark and destroy you. Yes.
In today's story, Zagraz had a problem. He lost his confidence in himself because he had once failed. Well, now, we all fail sometimes, but we should never be afraid to try again. And we should always keep believing in ourselves. As the old saying goes, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Until later, bye.
Is this thing on? Oh, goody. Why, hello there. It's your dear old Uncle Joker here. I bet you're asking yourself, what could I be possibly doing here of all places? Well, I'm laughing at the fact that this new podcast presented by Geekcast Radio is called Legends of the Dark Knight. Who the heck knew the Bat was so popular? Ugh. Join Steve, Mike, and sometimes Tara for reviews on the greatest DC animated universe cartoon to ever meet Gotham City. So join moi for the talk of the town, or I'll send Captain Clown after you. He gets mighty angry when he doesn't get to have his garbage skull. So put on a nice big smile and join us for the next Geekcast Radio Network podcast, Legends of the Dark Knight.
Like animation? Come listen to Animation Aficionados.
And if you disagree with us, you could be a guest on a future show.
Available on iTunes, the Zune Market, and AnimationAficionados.com.
I think we're in trouble.
Come out of there, Cringer. We've got work to do.
Oh no, my mother didn't raise any foolish children.
Oh, boy, this time I really overdid it. I ate so much I didn't have any room left in my stomach for dinner. In fact, it may be days before I'm hungry again. It really doesn't make sense to eat too many sweets between meals. A little snack is fine, but don't overdo it, because if you do, you won't have room left for the 3 healthy meals, which you should have every day. Don't get carried away with sweets. Oh, I wish I hadn't.
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free-use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code GeekCastRadio when you register.
Orko, I could kiss you.
Please do.
Time is a-wasting, don't you know?
All right, thanks for sticking with us. And as we do always, once we review the episodes, we give a quick overall thoughts on the series so far. Mine's going to be very quick because basically you can just queue up my cut from the last couple episodes. I'm still looking for the same things. I'm still feeling the same things. I like the series so far. I am continuing to be excited to watch and see what's next. But I still want more character development, especially with some of the characters that we have not seen any development on. And I am continuing to want to see more characters.
I agree. I've already prepared for next week's episode of the podcast, so we do see some new
Don't ruin
characters.
it for me, asshole.
Oh, I'm not. I just saying we do see some new characters. I'm not saying who or what or when, but I'm just saying we do see some new characters with the next podcast episode. For this one, it was interesting, to say the least. I don't think it added anything to the overall mainstay characters whatsoever.
No, not really.
It's
They're good standalone episodes for the most part.
Right.
Each one's a little different. Shaping Staff's way better than Cosmic Comet. But
Cosmic Comet's way better than Shaving Staff.
Lord, settle this for us, people. Chime in. Which episode was better, the Shaping Staff, as we all know, or as Mike is deluded to think? Oh, by the way, I was thinking, I didn't give a Havoc Staff out for that last episode.
Yeah.
Maybe I can call that back and I can hit you over the Havoc Staff for rating Cosmic Comet better than Shaving Staff.
No, you can't.
Okay.
That's veto.
Okay.
No. You can't hit the podcast host with a Havoc
I got
Staff.
I got a Havoc Staff for TFG1Mike on this episode.
Oh, I don't think so. That's not going to happen. Cosmic Comet was definitely better than Shaping Staff.
Bullshit.
You're bullshit.
But anyways, they were all decent standalone episodes. But yeah, like you said, none of them really did anything special for the series as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, out of the three, if I was to go back and redo my ratings, I would probably put Cosmic Comet at a 4 and Taking of Grayskull at a 5. Because Taking of Grayskull, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, and now that I've watched the episode again, it probably is the best out of the three. At least in my opinion, it would be. Because again, it's Skeletor doing something different. Even though, as you pointed out, he's going to be a ruler of a dead world, or a world that he's not going to be on, or whatever else. So, but still, I like the whole concept of Taking of Grayskull. So,
all right.
Yep.
So thank you, everybody, for listening to Tales of Eternia. And if you'd like to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show, these are the ways to do so. First, you can visit the website, www.geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on all of our posts. Please go there and do that. There's lots of cool blogs there, lots of cool other shows that you can get involved with, or obviously you can go to the Tales pages and join in the conversation that we usually have on each episode there. Send an email to feedback@geekcastradio.com and answer any questions, or just leave us your random thoughts and comments. Critique us, review us, however you want to do it. You can also review us on iTunes, and you can leave us feedback there. Please do so. And you can follow us on Twitter. Show's name there, basically the channel's name there is Geekcast Radio. Yours is
TFG1Mike.
And mine is, of course, OptimusSolo, the one and only there. You can become a fan of us on Facebook. Do that, and Mike will keep you up to date with all things Geekcast Radio related. You can call the voicemail line, tell us the show you're leaving, the message for, and your name. The number 502-526-5821. Just remember, what's the time limit on those?
5 minutes.
No more than 5 minutes. And we will play your voicemail on a future episode. So we hope you enjoyed the tales today, and don't forget to join us on our next adventure when we will be discussing episodes 22, 23, and 24, Double-Edged Sword, Quest for He-Man, and Orko's Favorite Uncle. For now, I am OptimusSolo with
TFG1Mike.
By the power of Grayskull, you all have the power.